Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of SHU Doing alongside my co-host Paul Guarino.
What's up, everybody?
We got a special guest in the house today, Greg Maurice. Greg, how are you doing?
Good. What's going on, Aaron? What's up, Paul?
What's up? Appreciate you coming on.
Have on.
Oh man, happy to be here, and I'm grateful, and also thanks for you guys created this platform, bringing some of the alumni back and tell their story. So thank you for having me.
Of course. We were chopping it up a little bit before. It's always nice to have another SHU soccer alum on the podcast. We've been working on getting a jersey, something representing for the team up on the set. But we got to get up there at some point.
Of course. Yeah, the soccer team's always, I'm always watching from the far. Played with the team 01 and 05, so a special place in my heart. So always rooting for the SHU soccer team.
Of course. It's funny, actually. It follows you later on in your career. You never know who you run into. I was actually on a shoot in Carolina the other day, and I interviewed a kid who had no idea a kid played at LIU. And he was like, Sacred Heart, we used to hate you guys. I was like, kind of mutual, but.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, LIU, Quinnipiac.
All of them.
Yeah, this bring back the good old days. So yeah,
some memories. Yeah. Well, speaking of some memories, we want to get into your career, obviously, and talk about it. You have a lot of really cool experience that I think a lot of students, alumni as well, would love to hear about. So let's get started. First of all, let's talk about why Sacred Heart. Why was Sacred Heart the school for you?
Yeah, it's a funny story because I came to the state when I was 13. So I grew up in Haiti. When I came to the state, because back in Haiti, Catholic school, Christian school, it's always the thing to do. And Sacred Heart translate and back in Haiti is like Sacré Cœur, which is very well known back in Haiti. So when I was in Georgia in high school, playing soccer, was doing well. I was one of the all-state students in Georgia playing soccer, and I got recruited by Coach McGuigan. He had some alum already in Georgia, and they took a look at me playing soccer, and they invited me to come visit. So my mom, myself, we went to check out the campus, and I was able to meet some of the players, and also there was an assistant coach there, Coach Lewis. Who was already there. He's also Haitian, so that made the visit very home for me because I was able to talk to somebody, and also I love the program that Coach McGuigan was creating back then.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I guess tell us a little bit about your experience at SHU as well.
Oh man, probably the best 4 year in my life because till this day, a lot of my close friends and great friends I was able to meet at Sacred Heart. So the good thing about that, when I was there, being part of the soccer team and also being part of great organization on campus, was able to form a lot of great relationships, lifetime relationships like that. Those are invaluable. And also being able to be in certain classroom because it's very small, being able to get the attention from different teachers, special attention from the teachers, to know certain things. So for me, like I said, those were probably the 4 best years of my life because he geared me and shaped me to the person that I am today, and also to see the world in a different prism because I got to engage and interact with a lot of different nationalities, different race, ethnicities, and for me that helped a lot, and also translate well when you graduate college and you work in the real world. It's a Sacred Heart represented basically a microcosm of what you get to see when you graduate, when you enter the workforce.
And when you were at Sacred Heart, did you know going into college that the field that you're in now was the field that you wanted to? Was it always that field for you, or did you have a moment when you were at school where it kind of hit you?
Yes, I always knew because I was one of the fortunate person who always knew I was going to be in that field because I know it's hard. Because even when I was going to school, a lot of my friends and they just never knew what they wanted in their career. And some folks, they probably didn't have a major until the junior year. But for myself, I was fortunate because when I grew up in Haiti, my mom used to be like the human resources manager of a TV station. So I used to go there like very young just to learn different part of the business. And for me, like I always knew that I wanted to be in some in media communication, like in TV, some way. So at Sacred Heart, I was able to learn like the different divisions of what could happen if I want to pursue that career. Because when it comes to the marketing, when it comes to the in front of the camera, if it comes to the production wise, there's like so many assets I was able to learn in theory and also like in application by going certain internships, like to gear me towards like what I wanted to specialize in media.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just looking at your resume, you have a lot of experience in different roles and fields too. So could you just like tell us, I guess like I know you've been at different companies at different points, but can you give us like a I guess like a brief overview of like what you've been doing, and then we'll get into some of the specifics too.
Yeah, my most people probably know me as a film acquisition executive. What that means as a film acquisition executive, my role is I talk to a lot of independent filmmakers. So what I do, I talk to a lot of independent filmmakers. I acquire their films or their title, and my job is to basically like find a distribution strategy for their titles, and also like to license their titles to certain platforms. Over my career, like I have released over 350 independent titles, and most of those titles have been licensed on Netflix, BET, Hulu, All Black, and Amazon. And for me, I've built like a niche just working specifically with a lot of underrepresented filmmakers because traditionally in media and also like in films, those filmmakers, like it's always been hard for them like to tell the story and to distribute their platform. So for me, that's where I built my niche and had a lot of success distributing a lot of independent film titles for those filmmakers.
That's amazing. It's obviously being in the field as well. I obviously know how what you're talking about, how it is difficult. So what is when you are, convincing these filmmakers or convincing them that they should work with you, how is that pitch? Because obviously I would imagine people would be a little skeptical of, maybe they've heard this or, they don't like our stories as much, or, there's a lot of different things that they may go, but talk us through kind of how you're able to make sure these stories are being told on Netflix's, on the Hulu's.
Yes, it's two sides of the story, right? First of all, I have to convince filmmakers that I'm the right person to distribute their titles. Because traditionally, I know how it is. Most creators, filmmakers, artists, they are very skeptical about the studios, about labels or distributors. Because traditionally, we've all heard those stories. That industry, they don't. They're not very frank, and also like they don't share as much. For me, like the way I try to present myself and also operate with integrity, I try to be transparent with the filmmakers about like trying to understand exactly their expectation and what they want to get out of it. And for me, like I'll try to tell them if that's something I'll be able to represent, and if not, I'll tell them like they might have to find somebody else. But for me, like I have to convince them, and obviously when I do that, now after I have their titles, it's my part of my job because of relationship that I have built. And just like reaching out to a lot of those platforms and trying to sell them to let them know like, hey, this is why you need to have this title on your platform because like it's telling that story. This is why it's relevant to the culture, to the audience. And this is sometimes a lot of them is like first time filmmakers, and you have to take a chance on those actors or those films, and just to let them know like, hey, this is a talent that person has, and potentially that person might be X and X. So it's a lot of convincing, but luckily because of the careers I've had, most of the time now it's just reassuring them why they should license those titles. Just a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I want to bring it back a little bit too, because I know you work in film now, but you also worked in sports and music. So tell us a little bit. I saw you worked for the big three, Red Bull Media, Entertainment One, and Fox Sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When I was at Sacred Heart, I always had like a passion for music, but I'm not a musician, but I always wanted to be to understand that world, that industry. And for the first 3 years, like while I was at Sacred Heart, and also like 2 years before in my career, when I had like a full-time job on the side, because I always had like this entrepreneurial mindset. I was learning and also like working with an unsigned artist back then by the name of Kat DeLuna, and I was able to work directly with her manager and also like her production team, and we were able to get her to get her first record deal at Sony. So that's how like I got started in like entertainment and build relationships and trying to see like how everything is made when it comes to like marketing, promotion, production wise. That's how I got started in the music industry, and it got to transition into sports. When I was at Fox Sports, I was able to doing a lot of producing and a lot of partnerships, and a lot of the partnerships I was doing with the NFL, the college basketball, and also like the NBA. When I was at Fox Sports, basically like producing a lot of like short clip content, digital content for our digital platform in partnership with the NBA, NFL, and also like and college sports. And when you asked me something about the big three, funny story. My job interview for the big three wasn't a job interview. It was like somebody told me like, "Hey, you'll be great for this role," and they put me in contact directly with Ice Cube, which growing up, Ice Cube, used to listen to Ice Cube, like you see all those stories. Like I was like, man, I got this job interview for the big three. Like literally just went in and and met him, and he just liked everything I presented to him. Like he basically like before the big three launched it, he told me like to help them build like the digital platform and social media strategy for the big three. So I worked there for like a year, just helped them, to make the big three what it is today. Because now I think they're going to their sixth season, and till these days, still like a mentor and somebody I can go to just to ask, for advice or even some testimonials, any type of help that I need, I can go to them, which is very important in this business. It's a relationship based business and industry. So anybody that you meet, everybody that you interact with, try to, be as professional and as nice and be respectful to anybody. And down the line, you never know when that person is going to need your help or you're going to need that person help.
Definitely.
That's a valuable lesson for anyone listening. And it kind of pivots into the next question of what other lessons, going from Fox and Big Three, Red Bull, all these major companies that you've worked for, there's, I'm sure, other major lessons that you've learned that, the next person might find very valuable. So what are some of the things that you've learned throughout that time?
It's the value of self-advocacy, because most of the time when you work for those bigger companies, you might feel like a small fish in a big pond, and you're just a number. And you, especially, I want to say, I want to speak in specifically for people of color, and also like somebody like myself who like was a first generation immigrant. Because sometimes, like when you work in those bigger corporations, like you just want to just do your work, put your head down, and you don't want the type of attention, which is like the one thing to do when you work in corporate, because in corporate America or in those big corporations, like it's always how to self-advocate for yourself. Because if you don't promote yourself, if you don't tell your manager or even your colleagues what you're doing and how you making this company like how valuable you are to this company, it's not gonna it's I guess it's not a good recipe for yourself, because at the end of the day nobody's gonna remember. So you have to be consistently remind yourself, like even if it's so hard for you to do because it's against your culture or even how you were brought up. You have consistently to know how to speak about yourself, how to promote yourself, how to show data and tell colleagues and also like supervisors like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm creating for the company, and that is valuable. So that is something like you always have to to remind yourself to do that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, what are things? Even just like you mentioned, like before we were talking, you mentioned you still follow Sacred Heart, and have you been back to the campus to see like all the buildings?
Yeah, it's great because once a year, like I got friends. We went to school. It was like send me pictures. You're like, this is Sacred Heart. I was like, no, you're playing because it changed so much. But haven't been since I want to say was it 07?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while since I've been back. But obviously, when I see pictures and also like notifications and also I go on the website, I see how changed it is. I know if I go back right now, I'll probably get lost because when I was around, it was probably only like 4 dorms. It was like east, it was south, west, east, and probably J Hill. And now they probably have different names now, but like back then it was like so small because when I went there, it was probably around 5,000 students, but it was like so small. But now looking at the pictures, I see like you have like a hockey arena. You got all those things. I'm like, man, this is amazing. Every time I see that, even sometimes when Sacred Heart plays basketball, like on ESPN, I watch the games. Like, I feel proud to see like how the trajectory like I was going like so fast, and it's always great to see that.
Yeah, I think
definitely get lost.
Yeah, I think our degrees, like I think that makes our degrees look better and better every year because like in the recognition it's getting, like you said, like even when we were in school, even though it was only 10 years ago, like we weren't on TV or that much, like maybe a couple times, but now they're like I feel like it's at least a couple times a year.
Yeah, because even now, sometimes when people ask me where I went to school, I told them, oh, yeah. I was like, huh. Because back then, Sacred Heart, well, obviously, in the East Coast, probably people would know about Sacred Heart, but because I lived in LA for 11 years, I would mention Sacred Heart and people would know about us. I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, that's dope.
I would definitely recommend also getting out for a men's soccer game. You got to see the facilities now.
I just got the invite from the for the alumni weekend, alumni game. Mm-hmm. They just sent me the invite, so I'm gonna try.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well, I'll probably see. I'm trying as well, so I might see you there.
Okay. Well, if I do, like, we just definitely got to link up, and I would love to come back and because I've been playing for like 3 years because since COVID, I haven't found a team, like, so I would love to go out there and start playing.
Yeah, and just like to see campus now. I mean, and see even just the field. I look at I met some of the players, and I was like, you guys don't even know how lucky you are. Like the locker rooms are gorgeous. Everything the school is doing is just
locker room. Oh my God, because we used to share locker room. Oh my God, that's funny.
You remember the old locker rooms?
Oh my God, yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing.
So, I mean, I would love to hear what other advice you might have for an aspiring student who wants to become work in the film or become a film executive. What advice would you give them for how to reach where you've gotten?
I would say to just pick the lane that you want to become great at, because when it comes to media, there's like so many different avenues for you to excel or to be great at. I would say like you can basically like wear different hats and learn different part of the business. But once you identify what you're mostly passionate about and just pick that lane and just focus into that to become the expert of that lane. Because for myself, that's what I did, because I did marketing, I did production, and I did acquisitions, and I realized what my niche was when it comes to acquisition. So I just picked that niche and specialize in it. And now I don't even prospect and get new clients. People they just come to me because of the reputation and also relationship that I've built. So I would advise just pick the lane that you want to be great at and just like focus on that.
Great advice.
Yeah. I think that's great that you worked in all the different fields and like because I feel like a lot of people, well, I say in like communications, like I feel like sometimes they just go into the media and don't like might not learn other things. And I think just even like, because for me, like I was a business major as an undergrad, and then I got communications as my master. So like the balance like of two different things like help me I think in the navigating the sports field especially. Um, but I also wanted to touch on too. I didn't want to forget that you also have your own company, so you're entrepreneur. Add another title to your name. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Thank you about that. Just launched. It's a career investment platform. It's called Zaka. It's a career investment platform for first generation, second generations immigrants. So we have three pillars. We have community, inspiration, and education, and we have a suite of career development workshops, and also like a community of immigrants thought leaders where you can join our community and engage and learn from folks who look like you, and also like understand like the obstacles that you face, and you'll be able to access some of those workshops and learn from them, and also like to engage with them and get some internship for them. Because for me, I think I brought it up. I was talking to you, like navigating like the corporate America. It was hard because it's not like I had like the blueprint. I had somebody to teach me how to do that. So after speaking to a lot of folks just like myself who came to this country, and also like who came to this country from another country, like they struggle with that. So I felt like there's like a platform or community that to have that as a source of inspiration and a source for help for people like sometimes like who don't have that blueprint. So I put this platform together and was launched last week. And yeah, if you want to join us or create like a profile, just access some of those workshops. Feel free to do that at zakaconnect.com, and we'll be able to chat and help you to whatever that you're doing.
Amazing. So before we get out of here, I want to make sure we always like to keep it fun on here as well. I know food situation on campus may have been a little bit different at your time, but what was your favorite place to eat when you were at Sacred Heart?
Because the good thing at Sacred Heart, because I remember like the Merit Canteen. That's when like started when we were at Sacred Heart. Like we'll try to sneak in. We'll try to go there like when we have some money, because as a student athlete. And also I had work study, so my $90 I used to make a week. So sometimes I'll sneak in to go to canteen, but most of the time we used to go to is it Flick? Is it still Flick?
Well, that's what we call it too, but they call it 63s now.
Yeah, 63. I was gonna say Chartwell.
Okay, yeah. So East Hall, we used to go there because like they had like some great chicken fingers. So I know for sure. Like, and they closed late too, so we used to go there like mad late to get some chicken fingers. But it's probably different now. They probably have like some like gourmet like spread and all that stuff now. But for us back then, was the canteen and go to East Hall.
No, that's great. That's great to hear. Those I think East Hall when we were there was called Roncalli, I believe. If I'm probably butchering this, but there was a place that had like chicken fingers and some late night bites and stuff like that. But that's gone now too.
What was it called? The one across the street, or that wasn't there?
The one across the street from the golf course.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What is that? What is it called now?
Well, it's not there anymore. I think it's a gym now. I want to say.
No, Roncalli's still there.
Oh no, it's an ice cream shop. No, but the food place. Remember they?
Oh yeah. The food place isn't there anymore. Yeah, it's like it was an ice cream shop. I don't know.
It's changed. Man. It was an ice cream shop, then it was a gym, and nowadays, who knows?
They're selling ice cream now, man.
Yeah, who knows what you can get there now? You don't need.
No, they have a whole. I don't know. No, actually, they have a whole diner now on campus near Jay Hill.
Yeah.
What?
A whole diner. It's a different world, but
okay. I guess some
you gotta go
donations.
Because it's crazy. The new dorms, they look like Hogwarts.
He's not lying.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I guess those donations have paid off. I love it.
They have. Well, Greg, we want to thank you for your time. We appreciate it. You want to let the people know where they can find you, and one more time where they can find your company if they would like to join.
Oh no, thank you. Yeah, if anybody, if you want to look me up, I'm on LinkedIn, Greg Maurice, and also like I have my own website, gregmaurice.com. And if you want to learn more about Zaka, go to zakaconnect.com. I want to thank you guys, Aaron, Paul, for putting this together. So I'm looking forward to see all the amazing things you guys are doing, because I think I checked out I thought it was like the first episode like you guys did for Aaron, but no, the person that you interviewed from Barstool.
Oh, yes, Brian.
Brian. So yes. I checked out that I checked out that interview. So I want to commend you guys for everything that you guys are putting together, because there's a lot of SHU alumni doing a lot of amazing things. So it's always great to hear from them, and just to keep up to see what everybody's doing, because there's a lot of doing like a lot of successful and amazing things. I would love for you guys, to check them out and for them to tell their stories, because that's a good way to recruit also, future students. So I want to commend you guys for everything you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Much appreciate it. It's crazy too, because right now we only are doing like communication and art majors. So I can't even imagine like if we did the whole school, like it'd be crazy, it'd be nuts.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And even some, SHU athlete. There's a lot of athletes who've done amazing things too.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to keep covering it, but we appreciate your time, and we hope that we will have you on again soon. Hopefully, I'll see you maybe at Alumni Weekend. We'll get out there, two of us just being old men, kicking off some cobwebs.
I love it. It was a pleasure meeting you, Aaron and Paul. We appreciate you.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of What You Doing. We'll see y'all next time.